Good evening and welcome back to Code Corp for round 2 for Lobby 1. My name is X Indigo and we are here at the Bahrain International Circuit, and as you can see for yourselves, it is fully wet indeed. And such rain you don't see around here in Bahrain, but in pre-season tested, I think, back in F2 this year, we had a bit of rain as well, heavy rain actually in F2, so something we haven't really seen, but we've never seen a wet race around Bahrain at all around this circuit here. But here we are then, as we go on board one of the drivers. It looks treacherous out there in these conditions, and good evening to everyone in the chat, Nathan, JP and Craigo as well, the man who is racing, as we head down towards turn number 1 then, on board with, I think, Curly, is it? Yeah, it is Curly. I think we're on board with Curly then, so let's turn the telemetry on. And as we can see here, coming out of turn 3, very treacherous indeed, as they all tumble up and down the order. Freefall is currently retired from the session then, so done a Nikita Mazepin at a turn 1 and turn 2, albeit in the wet conditions here. But as you can see, the Mighty Atom is on the intermediate tyres, so he's definitely going to be struggling there on those inters in these wet conditions here, these fully wet conditions. But Curly puts himself up into second place then. He's currently on a decent lap, as Jenkins then maintains first place for the time being, as a few swap around in the midfield coming down towards this double left-hander. Sorry about that, I flicked on board with the wrong driver, or I pressed the button by accident. So here we are then on board with Curtis still, as he's demoted down into 6th place coming out of turn 9 and turn 10. A very difficult braking zone that corner is. It's very easy to lock the front up here as we make our way down towards turn number 11 we go. Half the grid is going to double track to you want to make sure you qualify well. I don't understand what you mean by that, Nathan, but yes, you definitely want to qualify well indeed, because if you're stuck in that midfield pack, then it's going to be very hard to overtake. So pole around here is a critical indeed. Half the grid is going to double stack. Yeah, I thought that's what you said, but anyways, we make our way down towards the final corner, as Eisen currently leads in first place ahead of Jay Hart. Now Kearney gets a bit of a bad exit coming out the final corner, but as we make our way down towards the finish line, let's see what the fastest time is. King Panda slashes it away. It was Eisen the one who was leading them away, as King Panda takes away first ahead of Jay Hart now. Eisen in P3, MKP in 4th ahead of Basil Fox, Kearney in 6th, and Jenkins currently down in P7 then. That was a very interesting qualifier session indeed, and Matt says, what's got done? FFS says Matt there. I think he crashed out of turn 2. Probably got on the throttle way too early, probably collected that curb on turn 3 and just lost the back end of the car and hit the wall indeed. Oops, my bad there. I'm not supposed to do that yet, but look at the gap between Jay Hard and Eliza. There's only about 7,000 as well between those two, so close margins in these wet conditions there. And there is the rest of the grid, so Zombidon, Freefall and Craigo, unfortunately for them, did not set a lap time. The Mighty Atom there on those inters, probably regret that going on that tyre there, but it's currently down in P13. This is going to be an interesting race then. I don't know, mate, you might want to ask Atomize on the inters, because I don't have a clue indeed. So this stipulation is ice skating Bahrain. It's a one-shot quality, as you just seen. It's a 5-lap race. It's a full wet race. You pit for softs on lap 1 and you're disqualified if you don't. So you can only pit for one more lap. You can only pit for lap 1 only. I was about to say that other people might stay out there, but everybody will be dashing into the pit lane at the end of the lap. Collisions on, damage off, so nobody should be out the race, and no stewarding is the last requirement for this race. Are these people going to cope on these soft compound tyres or these wet tyres? I think the first lap's going to be very interesting. That's the most important part about it, trying to get the best places you can go up there. But here we are then, 4 or 5 lights for the Bahrain Wet Grand Prix. There's a jump start already. That was Basil Fox as he goes up into first place. No, it was Wee Rabbi. Wee Rabbi goes up into first place, and Basil Fox picks up a drive-through penalty. KXI gets a 2-second time penalty already in the race, so people picking up penalties before the race has got even started. Look at these cars. Look at that. Somebody's hit the inside, and unfortunately, that person's gone for a spin. KXI has got a 2-second time penalty for collision there, and I'm not quite sure who those cars were, because I'm not really good at identifying, but there is a ghosted Audi there. That is Basil Fox, I believe it is. I don't quite sure. I need to turn on telemetry there. There we go. It is Basil Fox. So Basil Fox has left the session, and he's currently not a solid car. It looks like he's driving normally, but he's a ghosted car. Spider there tapping the back of King Panda. So as we identify it, it looks like MKP and Curly made contact. As down the inside goes Spider into 8 there. Can he make it stick? He's just wheel to wheel with King Panda, but unfortunately for him he cannot get past. So we make our way now towards turn 9 and turn 10. This could be a very difficult braking zone, but currently Wee Rabbi leads the way by a second as somebody tries to go down the inside but can't quite pull it off. That Zombie Don going down the inside there. Cavalos and Craigo swapping positions, making our way now towards 11. Craigo just a bit late in the brakes, and there's he's gone for a spin. There's Cavalis, and he's going to connect somebody. No, he doesn't. He was a ghosted car, so that was very fortunate, but not unfortunate for Spider as he spins out of turn 11 there. So obviously these drivers are really struggling in these wet conditions so far. It's all about survival on the first lap. Well, as actually it's about survival throughout the whole race, because these guys are going to go to soft compound tyres later on. And Craigo and Mighty Atom swapping positions. Mighty Atom has made up a few places at the start of the Grand Prix, so everybody going to dive into the pit lane at the end of the lap. Nobody should be staying out there whatsoever, otherwise you're disqualified. Look at that. Oh, somebody's in the background has spun. Was that Cavalis? I'm not quite sure if it was. It's hard to identify these cars. So, who to suffer from this double stack? Mighty Atom is, as he finally gets in the pit lane then. All 17 drivers in the pits. Wee Rabbi comes out of the pit lane right now. I think he's got a drive-through penalty, because you do get a drive-through penalty if you jump the start, don't you? So you've got to serve it within 3 laps. So, no. Craigo's retired. Let's have a look. So Basil Fox and Wee Rabbi on the wet compound tyres, they served their drive-through penalty, and they technically went to the pit lane, but they didn't change tyres, because you got to go on the soft compound tyres. Further in the background, Mighty Atom, look at that, somebody off the track there into 1. Mighty Atom unfortunately got squeezed out of the curve with Jenkins there taking full track position. And I dare say first and second will be disqualified at the end of this race for jumping the start. So they got disqualified before the race even started. Let me put up the tyre. There we go, top 2 on the wet tyres. While the rest of them are on the soft compound tyres, as all of them try to survive. Here comes King Panda, might go up the inside if he's feeling brave, if he's confident enough. Yes, he will. Gives 3-4 the shove, and he makes that move stick. Hard but fair race in my opinion, and he goes up into 7th place there. 3-4 won't be happy about that. But Jenkins there and Curly getting all squabbling at the exit. Curly has lost the place down towards Zombie Don. Zombie Don was last, and there's a bit of contact too between those two Polishmen up the inside of Curly. It's fun watching all these drivers try to survive, literally try to drive to survive, as Polishman goes past Zombie Don. They're both in the same team. Pink Panthers 9th and 10th, or 10th and 11th it must be said, as Curly there assessing him behind. So the top 2 have an advantage because they're in the wet compound tyres, but they will be disqualified, I dare say, without even looking at the comments, which I'm about to do right now. Let's see if they are disqualified. He has to pit against serve the drive-through, but he already pitted to serve that. And these 2 are in the pit lane then to go on the soft compound tyres. Those 2 might be disqualified. I remembered to pit, but forgot to change compound, says Craigo. Did you, Craigo? Where is he? Oh yeah, because Craig goes down in 70th place there, and I think somebody spun at the exit of turn 11, Cavalis. That is, so not a good day for him whatsoever, but hopefully his fortune change in the next race at the French GP. More drivers swapping positions. I think I'm missing half the action here. There's so much action going on as 3-4 goes off the track into turn 1 there. And further behind us we've got Jenkins and Wee Rabbi squabbling away. Scott goes off the track. Rabbi gets poor traction indeed, and around the outside goes Jenkins. So look at that, 3-4 is really struggling on traction. They're not able to get on the throttle as quickly as these guys can, but Wee Rabbi there giving the shove as he outbreaks himself, and Jenkins might go off the track as here comes 3-4 once again. He's going to feel brave around the outside. Yes, he is actually. And he takes the place away from Wee Rabbi, and up the inside goes Polishman. Pink Panther's coming through, and he's done it. Great move indeed there from Polishman. So Wee Rabbi lost 3 places because the guy ahead of us, which is Jenkins, gave him a shove at the exit of the corner. Curly and Basil Fox squabbling away, and he looks like he's still a ghosted car, does Basil Fox. He's definitely in this race for sure, and he's ghosting through people. I'm quite sure if there's a bit of tap there between the ghost and the solid car, but Curly outbreaks himself and goes off the track. That is Basil Fox racing, because you don't really see AI race like that, but KXI and Tomo Tip Top swapping positions. KXI must have spun, and here comes King Panda around the outside. A very brave move indeed, and he puts himself up into 4th place. I've already forgotten which drivers pitted. I mean, which drivers stayed out there on the dry compound tyres to serve their drive to penalty. I think Basil Fox was one of them, or was it Panda? I think Wee Rabbi's another one. Oh, King Panda, they're tapping the back. In fact, KXI tapping the back of King Panda as he shoves him out the way into the final corner. I think stewarding is off, so technically allowed to do whatever you want here. As in the background, we can see that Basil Fox and Zombie Don are swapped away for P10. Let's go on board with them to see how that battle's going to unfold between those two. Unless down the inside goes Panda, he taps the back of him. And Wee Rabbi's out this race, and he retires in the pit lane. He has had enough of this one. And Basil Fox there going around the outside, he outbreaks himself, and so does the brown car of 3-4. Free position there for Polishman as he puts himself up into 7th place, and Basil Fox also crawling off the track. And here comes Zombie Don to take 9th place away indeed. And here comes Curly to even demote further Basil Fox too. Spider gets a 10-second time penalty there. Basil Fox luckily is ghosted because he's going through people. Otherwise he would have spun Freefall out or Zombie Don out for sure, as Basil Fox does go off the track. Not quite sure why he's ghosted there. It is Basil Fox. He was ghosted ever since the start of this race. See what's happening further behind between Spider, who's racked up the most penalties in this race so far, but KXI gets a 2-second time penalty, goes off the track now. Was there contact between himself and Panda going into turn number 9 and turn number 10 here, as KXI will rejoin on the track, going side by side. In the background we can see a few cars squabbling away. King Panda gives a slight tap towards KXI as they both go side by side out of the corner. And now remain wheel to wheel going into turn number 12. A KXI King Panda has the better confidence and better traction around the outside. I expected a lot of people. I did a wet race in Canada, I think, in ILT when it was the Winter Cup, and it was a full wet race, and it was difficult to keep it on the circuit. And here in Bahrain, with heavy braking zones and heavy traction zones, it is mighty difficult to get back on the traction without losing the back end of the car then. So Eisen remains in the lead ahead of Jay Hartnell in P2. Tomo Tip Top in P3 with Kang Panda in 4th there. In the background we see an Audi going off the track there. That's Basil Fox, who's having a few adventures in the background there, as Curly has overtaken Zombie Don. Looks like those two make contact in the final corner. Zombie Don gets well clear and back on the power. And now it's the final lap of this Grand Prix, so here is Polishman off the track into turn 1, gets back on it in front of Basil Fox there. Look at that, Polishman is squirming away. Is the Pink Panthers, Basil Fox in the Audi will come back at him if he can. KXI has got out wide. Will Jenkins go through? Technically don't have to go through because he has got a penalty, has KXI, 2-second time penalty, and Jenkins there going deep in. Oh, KXI's got off the track and he's in the gravel. So, easy work there for Jenkins. Is KXI going to lose any more places? Basil Fox. Oh, Basil Fox is going to lose it. And he's lost it, unfortunately. I was about to say they were very close on the track, but he's a ghosted car. Why is he a ghosted car? That's very interesting. I want to know. But King, this is a battle for the podium. Tomo Tip Top, who looks cemented in P3, has Panda all over the back of him. I've actually forgot which driver did stayed out there. 2 of them picked up a drive-through penalty. Was it Panda or was it Basil Fox? I don't think it was Panda then who got a drive-through penalty, so I think he's safe. So the battle for P3 is legit, and we'll see then which one of these two will finish ahead of each other. Curly and Zombie Don there, looks like they exchange places. Zombie Don has gone off the track in the Pink Panther car, and King Panda put in the Tomo Tip Top under all sorts of pressure there as he goes to the right to defend. But will he make the braking zone going into the final corner? Eisen about to cross the line to win the Wet Bahrain Grand Prix. Can Tomo Tip Top get a decent exit to keep King Panda at bay? Looks like he has for the time being. And those two will come across the line to finish in P3 and P4. Jenkins in 5th place there. KXI will finish in 6th. Actually, Jenkins has the fast lap of the race, even though there were wet tyres at the start. But bearing in mind that they did have to pit as Basil Fox goes off the track there at the final corner. So I was a ghost of the whole thing. And here comes Curly to finish in P10 with the remaining drivers who struggled and slithered and slid all over the road coming across the line. Wee Rabbi then retired. I think he was one of them who picked up a drive. Yeah, it was Wee Rabbi. I remember him going in 1st place. as he completely jumped the start there. It was him, a validated lap time already on the first lap. And was it Basil Fox who also picked up that drive-through penalty? So 2 drivers will be disqualified, although Wee Rabbi has retired himself knowing the outcome there. And Grego, who did pit, but went on the intermediate tyres as he chose the wrong tyres. So that's the end of the Bahrain Grand Prix then. And I hopefully you all enjoyed that, because that was very chaotic indeed. Imagine simulation damage. I think a lot of drivers would have been out by now if simulation damage was on. But the championship standings then, it looks like Pink Panthers in the lead but ahead. This is before this race, by the way. I haven't calculated the mass immediately. I'm not a mathematician, and plus I forgot which drivers on each team, except for some. Pink Panthers then lead Chevrolet ahead by 1 point, and Gunther's Hassel is currently in 3rd place ahead of Nicky Quieter. They had a decent race in the first lobby. They scored the most points in the first lobby to Nicky Quieter, but in the second they had a bit of trouble there with the other 2 drivers replacing. Sovereign Racing in 5th place, 3 points behind Nicky Quieter, with Window Lickers in 6th there ahead of Triple K Rosberg. Doing it in the Haas is in 8th place. They lost a lot of points back in the Chinese Grand Prix. Not quite sure why though, but whoever lost them a lot of points is an idiot, because they would have been higher up than that. Audi we get here is in 9th with 100 points, and Snail Pace Syndicate in 10th place, last in the Constructors. Pink Panthers Polishman is one of them, and Zombidon is another Pink Panther, so 6th is not too bad there for Polishman. And also Zombidon, despite starting 15th, made its way up to 11th place. Argy bargy, but there is no stewards involved. So King Panda and Jenkins are in Sovereign Racing, and they finished in 4th and 5th place, but I can't exactly remember which one of those 2 picked up a drive-through penalty. It was Wee Rabbi and somebody else. Bazza didn't box lap 1, oh dear. Yeah, I think because he had a drive-through penalty, that's why he didn't box. Did Basil Fox. I don't think he forgot, he just couldn't he just couldn't serve his pit stop because he had to serve that drive-through penalty. But we move on to the next race then, as the lobby is reset and we can get racing. I think the next one is at the French GP. Interesting simulations going on here in the French GP, as the rules are it's a one-shot quali like it is in Bahrain and the Netherlands. DRS chicken, they're literally around here in France. It's a 5-lap race. No overtaking allowed in the DRS zones, so that's when the final corner and the final corner and the first corner on that straight, and also coming out of turn 7 going into turn 8 in that dual chicane, as we call it here in CRL. I've actually called it a dual chicane in other leagues by accident, and nobody knew what I was talking about, because obviously it's an inside joke here in CRL. Rules apply from lap 2 onwards, because the DRS obviously applies on lap 3. Can go side by side in DRS zones to overtake at the next corner. Dry weather, collisions on and damage off. Illegal overtakes results in a 10-15 second time penalty. We see a lot of DRS trains, but this is literally going to be a DRS train because we can't overtake in the DRS zones. So I think some drivers there will have to focus on their qualifying at the French GP. It is a difficult track, for track limits is France, especially in the first sector. You're going to use all the curbing as you can without invalidating, try and maximise all the width of the track without also invalidating, which makes up the perfect lap time. It is dry weather, so none of these drivers have to work. Of course it's dry weather because it's a DRS chicken, and obviously can't have DRS in the wet conditions. So now we move on to the French GP. We'll see how this race goes. It's literally going to be a big DRS train. But we do see battles going on in that middle sector and the first sector. Drivers can overtake at turn 3. We see a few people try and go down the inside in that corner. Go down the inside into 3 and try and stay ahead before the DRS is activated. And also side by side at the exit of turn 11 and turn 12. That's going to be a great place to watch cars go side by side there. We had a race in Formula X and most of us went side by side in that middle sector. which is phenomenal to watch as you constantly swap lines to try and offset yourself to try and get a better exit at the exit of the corner. I do understand now the rules, and it took me a long time to figure out what and who was in each team. I still don't know to the full extent, which is bad on my side. I only started jotting down the notes about 5 minutes before the session starts. Although I did take a quick screenshot to try and have a quick peep. Can Pink Panthers keep it up here? They're currently 1 point ahead, and that's before the Bahrain Grand Prix because I can't really figure out the maths. I'm interested to see what happens in the Netherlands because we've got to use all 5 compounds. Imagine, ooh, Freefall there is having a bit of issues with his internet as we can get going then. I do miss the days when we had hyper soft, ultra soft, super soft, soft, medium hard and super hard. Most of the people might not have heard of super hard. It was introduced back in 2018, and I remember the British GP where that blue wall tyre was introduced, but not many people used it except Nico Hulkenberg. I don't know why I know that, but he definitely used it in the Renault there. I just remember a Renault of Nico Hulkenberg using it and not really being a good tyre, and it was scrapped after that. It was only used, I think, once. I'm not quite sure if it appeared at other tracks. The hyper soft tyres, the pink tyres. I actually forgot that was a thing, you know. It was probably introduced back in Singapore and Monaco when Daniel Ricciardo took pole position in the 2018 Monaco Grand Prix on the hyper soft tyre. So here we are for one-shot qualifying then, and we get going immediately. So all these drivers got to be prepared as we make our way down towards turn 1 and turn 2. A bit of hesitation from Jay Hartnell as we go down into turn 2 there. Love the header, by the way. Love the designs on that car as Jay Hartnell goes. We go down into turn 3. They're breaking the 50-metre board, using all the curb on both of the entries. It's got 2 retirements already, which is Spider and Jenkinson. Not a popular track. Here's the French GP here. As we make our way now out of the first sector, DRS will be enabled. That's the DRS line, and DRS will be enabled then on this straight. As we turn on the telemetry to see what speeds we're approaching, because we can't quite see the steering wheel. We're approaching about 330 km/h, which is about 207 miles per hour. More hesitation there going into the braking zone. Currently Basil Fox and Polishman exchanging positions like a yo-yo machine. Or yo-yo in fact, because it's not a machine. But A's in there in P3 with King Panda just gets ahead of Jay Hartnell. Now King Panda is behind Basil Fox. I think those two exchanged momentarily, but this is the place you want to be fighting here in this middle sector as we dip down towards the corner. Now we're making our way towards this tricky left-hander. Want to open the corner, try and get close to the apex as you can and run out wide on the exit. Polishman currently is on pole for the time being with A's in second place. As we make our way now towards this long left-hander, approaching the final corner we go, hit the inside curb, back with the power immediately, DRS wide and open, and we'll see what lap times these boys are going to set here in France. It's a 29.6, that's a decent lap time here at the French GP. And Basil Fox then 5 tenths further back in P2, so it looks like the Pink Panthers are on a roll. You all know Polishman can be a very handy driver indeed. He did struggle back in season 10. Did Polishman. I think he was teammates with India Jesus in the Aston Martin, so he has been struggling just a bit, but got some decent pace here. Has Polishman. I know he's always in the gym. Here's the Polishman. But there's the gaps then. Polishman the only one in the 29s, and we can head off to the race. Don't really miss this French GP actually. It did provide an interesting race back in 2021 with Verstappen and Hamilton. The tyres were dead for Valtteri Bottas and Hamilton because they did the 1 stop, whereas Red Bull did the 2 stop. I believe Perez did the 1 stop as he went long on those medium compound tyres, and he ultimately catched Valtteri Bottas towards the end of the Grand Prix too, and Max Verstappen caught Hamilton on lap 51 I think it was. That was a decent race back in 2021 there. It was first introduced back in 2018 I believe it was, where Mercedes are locked out of the front row. And we saw Valtteri Bottas and Sebastian Vettel make contact into one, ruined both of their races. We see some wet tyres in the garage there, so we don't really. There we go. As they switched over to the soft compound tyres, no need to run the wet here at this stage. Excuse me for a second, I'm going to sneeze. There we go. I didn't want you guys to hear me sneezing on stream. So we're just waiting for all the drivers there to apply their setups and we can get racing here in Port Ricard. I think the first lap is going to be very crucial indeed. Here we are, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights, and we are away for the French GP then. So let's see who gets a better start off the line as Polishman then is side by side with the Audi of Basil Fox. This time he's not a ghosted car, so we can make contact into cars here. But look at that, Basil Fox around the outside. I think Polishman was caught by surprise. I think he was anticipated that he could get taken out with the left rear tyre of Basil Fox. Now he's under pressure from MKP. Going up the inside, better contact there too between those two. Polishman desperately trying to stay ahead as he lost some ground. Now going around the outside into 5. Oh, make contact there, and unfortunately both cars are off the circuit then as they make contact with their wheels. But here we are then. I think lap 2 is the rule when it's applied. So I think you can overtake in the DRS zones on lap 1, which is legal. Which is not legal, sorry, on lap 2. But here comes Panda up the inside in the dual chicane. As you can see, Jay Hartnell is later on the brakes there, going out side by side of the car. Looks like King Panda has a better run out of the exit. But further behind us, we can see a few people might go 3 abreast. I think that's Jenkins, Freefall, and KXI. And here comes Jay Hartnell back up the inside. But can't quite make it stick. And now Jenkins and Freefall are currently squabbling away for P5. And looks like Freefall here has won the battle, but no, he hasn't because he's got to back up the inside. But Freefall has the preferred outside line to carry more speed and therefore take the racing line, so he's up into P5. However, look at this. We might be trying to get around the outside, but can't quite make it stick. And Eisen there is putting massive pressure on Basil Fox ahead of us in the Audi then, so Spider will be happy with his teammate there in P1 as Polishman has fallen down 17th place. Yeah, he has, because he spun into with MKP, so I was a bit surprised. That's how bad my memory is, you know. Really bad memory. But Jenkins is ahead of Freefall as they go wheel to wheel, going out on turn number 1 there. This DRS rule should apply now, shouldn't it? You're not allowed to overtake in the DRS zones, but here comes KXI and there's contact there. And look at that, Wee Rabby having his own incident out of turn 2. Now Tom of Tip Top fancies a move up the inside of Wee Rabby. Can he make it stick? There's contact again between those two as he gets shoved out wide. Does the white car livery hat driver. And Jenkins and Wee Rabby then squabbling away. The Sovereign versus Jenkins. And now going to wheel in this DRS zones. But looks like what's going to happen here? He backs off because he knows he's not allowed to overtake. But here comes, as you can see, that you're allowed to go wheel to wheel, but you're not allowed to overtake. So these drivers, they're obeying this rule. And now you're allowed to overtake coming out the corner. So this could be very interesting. But it looks like Freefall hasn't got a decent exit out of the corner, which is going to allow KXI to come back at him on this short straight as we head up now towards turn number 10 we go. Wheel to wheel between KXI and Freefall, and Wee Rabby there cutting the corners. Punishment gets a 2-second time penalty for track limits as you can see KXI having a racing line. Looks like Wee Rabby got past him too. What a decent move there for Wee Rabby. And now Freefall fancies to move back up the inside into turn 13 we go, and Freefall was understeering in the corner, almost made contact there with the side pod of Wee Rabby. All good fun indeed, but here we are then. More. Oh, Cavaliers has made contact with Tomo Tip Top, and they're both spun. The Sovereign Racing making contact there, unfortunately, and Tomo Tip Top will not be happy with that one. If the stewards are required here, then that should be a penalty for sure, because that was quite unfair between those two. But however, Eisen's all over the backs of Basil Fox then. This is an opportunity to overtake into 3, but he can't quite make it stick as he's way too far behind. Next up is a DRS zone, but he's too far back to make a lunge in that DRS zone. He's not allowed to overtake in that DRS zone indeed. King Panda is up into P3 with Jay Hartnell right at his tail there in P4. As we head onto the DRS straight, Eisen is not allowed to overtake. He has to sit behind that Audi car. As you can see, he's backing off there. Same with Jay Hartnell on King Panda. Wee Rabby is right behind KXI too. But let's see if Eyes has got a decent exit out of the corner to try and go alongside Panda or Basil Fox into turn 10, which he hasn't. So we have to stick behind Basil Fox for the time being. He's quite low on the ERS battery as Basil's got more, but Eyes might fancy a move here, which he will. Is this double right-hander we go into turn 12, but King Panda. I said this last week, why do I get confused between Panda and Basil Fox? They're not even remotely the same name. Always gets mixed up with those two. I'm not quite sure why I do that. But anyways, Aiden stays behind Basil Fox for the time being. Can King Panda close in on this battle, followed by Jay Hartnell and Wee Rabby and Freefall just behind us there, as we head on to lap 4 out of 5. When will Eisen decide to overtake, as Jay Hartnell sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix as he continues his pursuit towards Jay Hartnell, trying to claim P3. And further behind, Tomo Tip Top Spider are exchanging positions there. So it looks like Punishment, our pole sitter, unfortunately he's down in 16th or 17th place as he made contact with the back of MKP. All 3-4 picks up an inevitable 2-second time penalty as he cut the corner in that corner. So there's no debate there. But here we are then with the DRS. He's used a lot of battery, Aiden has, in that zone. As we head down into the chicane we go, gets alongside him, but not enough to put him off and force him out wide. But when he get a decent exit out of here, out of the corners, Aiden will be all over the back of Basil Fox as Joshua is now in the chat. Welcome Joshua, mate. Nice to see you in the chat. Josh Evans, the legend himself. Well, look, what team are you in, Josh Evans? I can't actually remember without even looking. But I think Basil Fox is in your team in T, as Aiden gets a bad exit out of that corner. I can't really check anything really because all these guys are bunched up together. Anything could happen as we might be trying to put KXI under pressure, who is followed by Freefall. They had a scrap for P5, 6 and 7 there, their own private battle. But Panda is now in the DRS range of Eisen. Eisen just dropped out of it momentarily, but he's got himself back in there, although 1.1 seconds away from it. Has he got DRS? Yes, he has. So I think Eisen being low on battery, he will not get Basil Fox. So it looks like Basil Fox has this secured as he sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix in the Audi Sport car, which will be introduced in 2026 when they take over Sauber. Nico Hulkenberg has a contract for Sauber, but who will be the second driver? Bottas, Joe or Sainz? Although Sainz says he's not interested in Audi, but who isn't? But here we're going down into turn 3. KXI breaks himself, goes off the track. Will that fancy rebound go down the inside? No, he's too far back to do so. Cavalis, Curly and Jenkins have their own squabbles there in the midfield, but looks like Basil Fox has got this in the bag. He should be able to win this Grand Prix now, not under pressure, as Aiden can't get himself in DRS range and he's low on battery to try and make any sort of impression on Basil Fox. King Panda is lagging all over the place as he's got Jay Hartnell for company too. But further behind we go, Rabby, Freefall and KXI having their own squabble there for P5. Which one of these three will come out on top? Can they overtake KXI going into the double right hander we go? Jay Hartnell's right to the back of Panda's. Oh, he actually hit the back of Panda too. But looks like Panda there survives for the time being and does not go into a spin. And as you can see there, Rabby, KXI and Freefall there. Looks like they'll stay in the positions they are right now. Unless Rabby fancies a go in the final corner, which is classed as the DRS range or DRS detection corner because the white line is there. But anyways, Basil Fox, what a drive from him as he'll take P1 to win the French GP. Panda's in P2, Jay Hartnell in P3. Eisen picked up a 2-second time penalty which allowed Jay Hartnell and Panda to go on the podium. Jenkins also picks up a 2-second time penalty. He's down in 13th place. But what a race there for Basil Fox. His team will be very happy indeed in the Audi Motorsport racing team. Basil Fox, who lost out back in Bahrain due to a drive-through penalty, comes strong here in the race in France. So what a way to repay your team. And that is the race over there. Looks like the window lookers of Curly and Cavalis did not have a good race, it seems. MKP made contact in the early stages for punishment, so Pink Panthers and Chevrolet there. As Nathan's in the chat, he will be happy to see that with those two forward in the back of the field. We move on to a very interesting race, which will be in the Netherlands, and it's going to be 5 laps. No, 25%. Sorry, there's no way you can do 5 laps. 2 laps each, with a set of soft, medium, inters, and hards and wets attached to the cars. As I try and get the drivers' names and teams up. So Basil Fox wins for Audi Motorsport ahead of King Panda. I should say their real name, shouldn't I? How did we get here? And Basil Fox will be wondering how he got there in P1. King Panda in second place. What a great result for him from 6th to 2nd. Basil Fox made an audacious move around the outside but made it stick. Sovereign Racing in P2. And Jay Hartnell, Snail Pace Syndicate is in 3rd place. So 4 different teams, or 5 different teams in the top 5. It's really hard to memorise all these guys here. I know they got different liveries, but quite difficult to identify some of these boys. KKK Rosberg is Aizen's team there in P4 as I tried to look for his name further down the field. And KXI, who's currently in Gunther's household, in P5. Tomo Tip Top is his teammate. Which one of those 4 came up with Gunther's hassle? Was it Ennis, KXI, or Tomo Tip Top? I don't think I've seen Ennis race at all in this Cone Cup. He hasn't raced for the first race in Lobby 1 or Lobby 2, so Ennis is still yet to make an appearance. Maybe he did race back in China, but I didn't really have paid attention because there's a lot of drivers I didn't really get to see. We move on then to the Dutch GP. The rules are you've got to use all 5 tyre compounds and you've got to do at least 2 full laps. You can't put on lap 2, you've got to wait till lap 3 because you've got to do full 2 laps. So hopefully everybody understands the rules. I did get confused at first. Me, Nathan and Palmer had a debate to think about which lap to pit. Was it lap 2 or lap 3? But it does make sense in the end. You just got to think about it. Lap 1 and lap 2, 2 full laps, then you pit on to lap 3. And after that you pit on to lap 5. So this is the last race. We did have 4 races back in Lobby 1, but that took a long time, so we minimised it to 3, which is ideal because we see some plenty of action here tonight in Cone Cup. I will be the commentator once again on Thursday, which is unfortunate because I should be racing, but due to my own antics there, I have got a race ban. I can't wait to see what round 3 has in store. It's going to be very interesting. All these guys creating good races, which jumbles up the field and signs off F123 for goodbye before we move on to F124. Some of us have played the beta and we've got a lot of mixed opinions about it, and we're not allowed to speak about it either due to the rules we all agreed to sign up for. Right, so the countdown is on and we'll get racing once again then here at the Dutch GP in Zandvoort. Panda Baza Fox won the first 2 races. Who will become the victor in the 3rd race? Audi and Sovereign Racing currently take 1st and 2nd. Well, 1st in both races must be said, but can any other team try and dislodge them? What about Gunther's asshole? What about Chevrolet Racing, Sovereign Racing too? Pink Panthers, Window Lickers, Haas, Not a Haas, sorry. What's our team name? I've actually forgot. Actually forgot that's our team name. Doing it in the Haas. There we go. What about KKK Rosberg? Can they try and get a win as well? With Snail Speed Syndicate, we saw Jay Hartnell pick up a podium in the French GP. I think there's only one driver from our team who's here. We got me, who's commentator right now, Freefall, who's racing, Hobbs is not here, and Harvey's not here. So Freefall there having to do all the work on the track for our team. For Pink Panthers, Polishman and Zombidon are here. Nikki Quieter, we've got Wee Rabby in the sessions. Looks like Wee Rabby is also, as Basil Fox has left the session. So that's not good news for him and his team. Wee Rabby is also a sole remaining driver out there, a solo driver. MKP and Craigo representing Chevrolet Converterans, as Nathan and Cole Paradox are racing in Singapore, China, and the first race, which I've already forgotten. And Window Lookers has the likes of Cavalist and Curly in their team. India Jesus is also involved with IRT Kenny, also a driver in the Window Lookers. The silent finishman, not a lot of words are spoken from the finishman of Kenny, but it's funny when he gets angry. But here we go then, one shot qualifying as Basil Fox does join a session. Will his AI do any favours there and try to give him pole position like somebody back in Saudi Arabia qualified third, I think, because they went to the AI mode. But here we are down into turn one. I think somebody touched the grass on the apex. Toro Tip Top was the one that touched the grass on the outside, heading into one, and now heading into 3 and 4. Lovely fast speed corners indeed. It's a great track to watch drivers go for qualifying laps, but in terms of racing, it's not really a great track, although we did have a good race back in 2023 where we had mixed conditions and jumbling the order up, going into Tarzan, we go a bit wide in the exit there, as we go into the double right hander, we go flat out to the first part or lift off, then in the second part into the apex, bring it out wide to the right hand side and try and get as close to the apex without really touching that inside curve, because it can throw a lot of drivers off or it can unsettle the balance of the car as we make our way now towards this chicane. We go. This chicane can be really difficult as well. If you carry a lot of speed and miss your braking point, you'll end up in the gravel there as we make our way now towards the balance of corners where we saw, I think, Logan Sargent have this incident. As Tom at the tip top, I'm not quite sure if the rules are on. No, it's not, so we got away with that, otherwise there would have been a validation there for Tom at the tip top. But MKP is currently going to take pole with a 9.4, and he's 2/10 ahead of King Panda. King Panda once again doing a great job, but I think he got disqualified in the first race, or it was Basil Fox, it was one of those two. So the Scotsman there, not the Scotsman I want to see. I want to see the man in P10 on pole, but the Scotsman of MKP on pole ahead of Polishman Panda, sorry, in P2. Polishman in P3, Pink Panthers ahead of Jay Hartnell in 4th place. King KXI in 5th ahead of Eisen there. Jenkins in 7th. We've be 8th. Cavalist 9th. 3-4 10th. Craigo 11th. Tomo Tip Top 12th. Curly, Matiatu Spider, Basil Fox, Zombidon, who will start in last place. Two people didn't have a time, which was Bazza and Zombidon, unfortunately for those guys there. So MKP there, tier 4 driver on pole. It'll be a difficult race. What's the best strategy to go on? Do you start the wets at the start, or do you mix it about a little bit? I'm going to say what we're going to do, because obviously I've heard what we're going to do. But what will these drivers do here? Will they just try and mix it up? Will they go to the wet compound tyres towards the end, or at the start to get out of the way, they go towards the dry compound tyres towards the end of the Grand Prix? It can be an interesting strategy play. And there's going to be a lot of information to take in to see who has pitted and who has done 2-4 laps around each tyre. So the race director will come in handy then, and also going to keep an eye on the graphic to see if people have done 2 laps on their tyres. Nathan will be very happy with MKP, I'm sure of it, as he's currently representing their team in Chevrolet. But can anybody stop? There's a dry race around here, but we're going to have 5 different tyre compounds attached to each car. But we'll see who decides to go which tyres. Contacts can be made around here because, let's say, some start of wets and some start of dries. That could also be the disadvantage where people make contact with each other. So it could be a very chaotic race. It's a survival race going on the right time at the right time. But 3, 4, 5 lights, we can't quite see what tyre people have opted to go for here. But we get the graphic up right now to see what's going to happen. Here we are, nobody on the wet tyres there. We go down into turn 1. MKP still in the lead there with Polishman and Panda going wheel to wheel. Looks like Polishman going around the outside into turn 1 there. Looks like somebody's disappeared. That is Panda, who's having really bad lag around here. And Polishman swoops around here. Oh, contact made between 2 drivers. And in the wall goes KXI. He's lost his wing there. And a safety car has been deployed. I didn't realise the safety car was on, if I'm being honest with you, but that'll help KXI. But his pit stop will not count because he hasn't officially done 2 laps on his tyres. So that's going to be very confusing too. But we'll try and make use of it. I'm trying. So does that mean if KXI pits, he has to go back on the medium compound tyres somewhere in this race, right? Surely, because he hasn't done 2 laps around here. So he's going to pit onto a set of hards or softs or whatever he wants to go onto. Then he's going to have to put that medium back on to do 2 laps. It's all about strategy around here, but nobody is going to pit this lap because that'd be a very unwise thing to do. Losing track position, and also the tyre rule will not count. But let's say if safety car goes out for 2 laps, can they put on lap 3? Because they have done 2 full laps, but behind a safety car. But it is a virtual safety car. So I think KXI then has already lost this race in the P16, as he has to make an extra stop, as I thought somebody would dive into the pit lane. But off we go then for the safety car restart. MKP having his mirrors full with the Polishman there, trying to go around the outside into 1. He made a great lunge around the outside into 3. But this time round does not make it stick, as further behind Craigo trying to put pressure on Tomo Tip Top ahead of us as Freefall's retired. Oh, Freefall is out of this race and also in the wall. Oh, he was in the wall, but ghosted as Polishman and Panda swapping positions for P2 as there's a multi-car crash. Oh dear. In fact, I think it's a lobby restart. It's got to be a lobby restart because everyone's retiring, so it makes sense. I think because the virtual safety car, is that why we're retiring? Just trying to see if anything's been said in the chat as everybody's leaving the session, as I think I should do too before I get stuck in here. So I think it is a lobby restart, but I've not really seen anything being put in the chat unless I've been looking in the wrong chat, of course. So unfortunately we're having problems in this race then. Was the safety car supposed to be off? Or was damage supposed to be off? Because we did see KXI lose his wing. Let's have a look at the rules though, because the rules are right there in front of us, so might as well go look at it before we start making assumptions or guessing when it's right there. So it's a 25% race, all 5 tyre compounds being used. Must complete at least 2 laps on each tyre. Dry weather, collisions on, damage on, safety car off. So that's why we're doing a lobby restart. Damage is on, so you will lose your front wing if you crash, or your tyres. So that gives a second chance for KXI really. Even though he crashed, he benefited from it because he's about to get a lobby restart. And the man who looks like he was gonna be out of this race has a chance to come back in it with this lobby restart. So before we get going once again, I'll take a short break and I'll be right back with you in a few minutes. My bad, I actually joined the wrong session. Somebody sent me an invite, but I thought it was 3-4, because it said 3-4 sent me an invite, but somebody else sent me an invite at the same time, so I must have clicked on the first one. And it's brought me into this Abu Dhabi race, where it's a league race, it looks like. Looks like 4 people are out. I've actually joined the wrong session, you know, but looks like my ex-esports manager is currently in P1. It's unusual sight to see him in P1, because he's always crashing into people. But it's nice to see him in P1, and well clear for once. As we can see, looks like a Mercedes on the back of Slick there, as he gets past him, going up into 9th place, headed down into turn number 11 we go. Nice move there from Percy on the hard compound tyres. There's 13 laps in this race, but I think we have to join the other lobby now, because 3-4 did send us an invite, so it was nice to watch this race. I didn't even know what this is. It is a league race for sure, but well done Cammy for leading this race. Let's have a look to see what tyres he's on. Hard. Ooh, 13 laps. He's not even pitted yet, so he still needs to make a pit stop. Anyways, I'll leave this lobby right now, and I'll join the actual one I'm supposed to be in. That's the deal, because 2 people sent me an invite, and I thought it was going to be for the Code Cup, but it's actually for this race. I saw 3-4's name pop up, but I clicked on the wrong one. Hopefully I can join this session, because I might have a bit of difficulty. There we go. I thought it would let me in the session there, but we are in the session right now. Are we going to restart one-shot qualifying? Looks like we are, unless we get that turned off of course. But yeah, my bad for that one. Hopefully I'm not late. So we've got a message from Freefall explaining what happened.
Take full responsibility at 25% of an accident and put it back to 5 lapper. So it reset the blocking safety car setting. This game is horrendous and I apologise. We'll get going as soon as possible.
Yeah, it explains why the safety car was on, because it does reset when you change it from any setting. But mistakes can happen. But here we are once again, and the one-shot qualified is off, so we're going to go for a custom grid from the previous results in the last race, and can get racing in for this Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Abu Dhabi, sorry, Netherlands. said Abu Dhabi because I was in the other lobby. No formation lap, and we can get racing. 5 lights are on, and off we go for the Dutch GP for the second time. MKP still gets a decent start, and he still maintains the lead. Side by side go Punishment around the outside. Can he take on MKP? Not quite, as he stays in second place, but good attempt though, as he gets past K Panda in the process. Further behind Jay Horner looking for a move there, or a bit squibbly there from KXI. Did hit the wall. Oh, look at that, who's trying to go down the inside into turn 3. Not enough room given to whoever that was in the white car, but he has to stay behind for the time being as these two go side by side. That looks like it's Jenkins versus KXI as they get the telemetry on once again. So everybody on the dry tyres, the slick tyres, as you can see, we are being Turbo tipping over each other here in the Netherlands. Actually, should have said that because it was a bit of a tongue twister there, so I couldn't really get my words out. But Turbo and Spider once again going side by side. Looks like the Audi's always lost his wing. Turbo has unfortunately lost his wing, and he'll be heading off into the pit lane to get a nose change. And how we can see Mighty Atom and Gregor going side by side as we make our way now towards the chicane we go. Who's going to be late to the brakes? It looks like it's Mighty Atom, as Gregor had to take over in action there and settle behind. But MKP is in the lead of this Grand Prix. Punishment, but we're all over the back of him trying to make amends after that first GP where he made contact with MKP. As MKP sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. And he's currently in P1, that's why I said the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Indeed, Basil Fox in free fall, scrapping over P10 as Basil Fox gets the move done, goes up into 10th place there. Round 2's race winner or should I say that the France Grand Prix race winner, because round 2 is technically still here, as Curly and Mighty Atom having a scrap at the back of the field. Looks like they sort themselves out. Where is the man who lost his wing? Looks like he's still out there. Tomo Tip Top is still out there, isn't he? So he's not coming in, so he's going to do full 2 laps without a broken front wing, and that is quite a tactical indeed, because one, he's going to lose a lot of time, well, he's going to have to make another pit stop, and Wee Rabbi and Basil Fox then. Basil Ace has gone off the track, and he's down into P11 then, so I'm not quite sure what happened to him, whether he carried too much speed in the corners, lost the back in the car, or ultimately made contact with somebody, but either way, he's demoted down into 11th place. So the next lap is when you can pit, and Tomo Tip Top can get a nose job and get a brand new front wing. And you can see there, looks like somebody else lost their wing. Is that Craigo too? It is Craigo. Let me get the telemetry up here. There we go. As it makes a lot of things easier. But King Panda's pitted. Oh, and Jenkins has pitted too. They don't understand the rules. It's 2 full laps. They should have pitted on this lap, if that makes sense. Tomo Tip Top is out of the race there to the final corner, so he did not make it through, and he can't get his front wing change. So, oh, it looks like a lot of people do not understand the rules, as people have pitted already. It is a bit. It makes sense when you think about it, but when you look at it, it does make sense why people have pitted. If that makes sense itself. But yeah, some people haven't really followed the correct speculation of the rules, as Mighty Atom's on the soft compound tyres. So some have gone for wets, as some have gone for inters. Basil Fox has gone on the inter tyre. But Nathan, if you're in this chat, what's going to happen to these guys that pitted? Are they going to get disqualified or penalties? Yeah, it doesn't really say in the chat what happens to them. So is it disqualification already from 11th downwards? But yeah, these people pulled the trigger way too early to go onto the different opposing tyre, and we should see people pit this lap, which they are pitting. It looks like somebody stayed out there. It's KXI who's going to take track position there, as somebody else has gone for a spin. It looks like it was Craigo in that first sector. KXI has opted to stay out there. Is that legal? I'm not quite sure. You're going to do at least 2 laps, as Freefall has pitted. So KXI has opted to stay out there, do 1 more lap on the medium compound tyres, and this is going to be very interesting there to see how his strategy pays off indeed. Keeping an eye on every single driver is going to be a massive challenge, because I already know who pitted first, and I might forget later on, but KXI has decided to stay out there for 1 more lap. Whether that's in the rules or regulations, I'm not quite sure. It might have made it work, KXI, but he's definitely going to pit this lap to shore to ensure that he has all the tyre compounds being used. As Freefall gets ahead, Wee Rabbi has gone for the medium tyres, so it's a slick there for Freefall, whereas others have gone for a slick wet tyre. And look at that, this is like a 2023 version where Perez made his way through easily on people who were still out there on dry tyres. No idea why those guys in the dry compound tyres didn't pit either. The likes of Norris, Russell, Albon, those people who involved, as KXI picks up a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane, and that'll definitely hinder his race later on. And you can see Basil Fox overtaking Cavalister on different tyres, of course. Aids ahead of Spider. I was pretty sure Spider wasn't the party when we explained the rules. As you can see, Freefall makes his way through on people then, as it looks like KXI has actually stayed in the lead of the Grand Prix. Now he's in another slick tyre, which is going to be very interesting indeed. I can't really go on the race director because there's so much happening. Basil Fox in the pit lane again. He hasn't really done 2 full laps on the tyres, has he? You know what? It's going to be really hard to remember who's done 2 laps and who hasn't. I think the stewards might have to rewatch this race and jot down every single driver. We definitely know KXI has completed over 2 laps. But yeah, we might want to watch the second lap of the race, because some people did pit, and I don't think that counts. So I think Jenkins at the end of this lap will go in the pit lane because he's done 2 full laps on his set of wet compound tyres. And Mighty Atom will be able to pit too. But we're going to have to make a notebook here of who's pitted and who hasn't, or who has at least done 2 laps on a set of tyres. Polishman putting pressure on MKP here as KXI will pull away. Has KXI done the right thing here by staying a lap extra on dry tyres? Freefall scoops around the outside, but he'll take the pain later on this Grand Prix. So it's working now, but he'll take the pain later on as MKP. Oh, MKP, you only done one lap, one full lap on the wet compound tyres. He's supposed to do 2 full laps. But yeah, he's pitting now to a brand new set of inters. So I don't think a lot of people understand the rules, as Cavalis has stayed out there for P5. So 2 full laps, then pit the lap after, if that makes sense. But some people will get penalties after this race, if not a disqualification. And I cannot keep an eye on who has pitted on who hasn't. It's one out. It's an out lap plus a full racing lap. That's what Nathan says. That's what Nathan said. Yeah. But what I mean is lap 1 and lap 2. That's what I mean, because people pitted on lap 2. I think at the start of the Grand Prix where people didn't really understand the rules. But anyways, KXI then leads ahead of Freefall. Freefall is benefited on those medium compound tyres. Why is everyone on the wets and inters? Because it's a wet race, obviously. That's why everybody's got on the wets and inters. So Freefall gets a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane, as the rest of them go on alternate tyres. And KXI is doing more than 2 laps here. I think KXI is doing the right call here by staying out a lap extra on hard compound tyres. So his strategy may actually work, as people are only doing about 2 laps here. So Sylvie, we're doing a Cone Cup and there's rules for different races. This is not officially a league race, it is a league event, but Freefall gets a 5-second time penalty for crossing the white lines. So we're doing a Cone Cup where it involves different simulations for different races. We've got different stipulations for different races. So we had a Bahrain race earlier on where it was a full wet race, but we had to do dry tyres. And you just basically go to last week, because we started this last week. And the rule for this is everybody has to do everybody has to go on 5 different tyres. So all 5 tyres have to be used, as KXI goes in the pit lane to go on the intermediates. So yeah, we do league racing normally, as normal, but we're doing an off-season thing where we make up rules. Well, we don't make them up, we make up rules beforehand and try and we have 4 different drivers in different teams. And that's why we've got the multiplayer cars, because there's 4 different drivers in different teams. I'm not going to say the names just in case you get offended, because obviously you're new here, but the names are quite funny indeed. But Freefall and Jay Hart now scrapping away. Looks like Freefall now on the wet compound tyres, so he'll take the pain here. MKP on the medium compound tyres, so he should be quickest now on those medium compound tyres as Jenkins and Cavalis go through. It's really interesting which strategy worked in whose favour here. Who has pulled the right strategy? KXI has done 2 stints on the dry tyres, and he stayed at a lap extra plus. And here you can see Jay Hartnell risking a move up the hill to go towards Tarzan. What a great move there for Jay Hartnell to get ahead of Freefall. Looks like there wasn't a lot of room, but at the same time he made it stick. Hopefully he didn't pick up a penalty either, or warning, because you can get track limit warnings on that particular part of the track with the extra road there. So yeah, Sylvie, we had a Cone Cup draw where we had a lot of drivers participate, and we got put into different pots and pans, literally, to see who will be on each team. We got picked in different teams, and there's 4 of us racing in each team, and we all create our own names and liveries, and looks like those 2 make contact. So as you can see this livery here, which is appropriate to say, this is the Audi team. Basil Fox and Spider are in the team together, and they're called How Did We Get Here? Obviously there's a pun. Hopefully you get that, because I don't want to explain it, but you can see Basil Fox, he's all over the back of King Pilot. They're both on the same tyres, so looks like they should be on a level playing field. But looks like Basil Fox is quickest at this stage then. So into the pit lane comes Jenkins, off the inters. Mighty Atom is in the pit lane too. And let's see what tyres they decide to go for. Medium compound tyres. So it looks like people are trying to... Oh, KXI has retired. Oh, KXI's out of the race! He was leading the race! And now he's out of it! Oh, Punishment goes off the track too as he struggles on the intermediates and really pushing hard there. But our race leader KXI, who has gone for a spin and hit the wall at the exit of turn 7, is out of the race. Oh, what a shame for KXI. In the first lobby it didn't go well. In the second race it hasn't gone well either for him. And Punishment will be licking his lips, but at the same time got to be very careful of what he does because he did go off the track himself. But luckily not in the wall there. You're carrying a lot of speed going into the double right-hander, and he's so lucky not to hit the wall, especially on the intermediate tyres on a dry track in the gravel too with no grip. But here's Basil Fox and King Panda. These two were scrapping away in the last race and the race before, as Punishment has pitted then, and so has Jay Hartner. So the rules do make sense now. So let's see what stint they go on to, and MKP will take the lead of this Grand Prix. This car is struggling. That's We've struggling out the corner. In fact, he's not struggling because he's on the intermediates, of course, so that's why he's lost pit lane. As it looks like Basil Fox and King Panda will go through. More drivers enter the pit lane on the intermediates. Is that twice on the inters? It is twice. Did we see free fall on the inters before? Oh, look at Basil Fox there, struggling into turn 3. The back of the car was stepping out, but luckily didn't lose the car. I think he was on the mediums, then he went on inters. Did free fall. Let me check the race director to see what he's done. So yeah, looks like majority of drivers then have used 4 tyres, and we're yet to see one more tyre being used. So everybody's going to make one more stop then to go on to a set of whatever tyres they've got left to choose or allocation. But Punishment is behind Basil Fox. He's just pitted, of course, so he's right behind him. He's on the fresher medium compound tyres, of course, but will capitalise on these tyres for 2 laps but be stuck in this DRS train. So far, advantage MKP did a really good job in a P1. It's got a massive gap behind, and you can see that Basil Fox is eagerness to get past King Panda, looking for different ways to get past, but he should be able to make a move down into turn 1 we go. Curly and Mighty Atom scrapping away. They're both on different tyres, of course, so no competition there, but competition into turn 1. Somebody spun at the exit of turn 9. Basil Fox goes down the inside. He's giving Punishment a squeeze. More contacts made between the two, and King Panda was not willing to let Punishment go. Punishment was desperate to get past it. They've done 4 laps on these medium compound tyres, so they're extending the stint on these medium compound tyres. They've only got 1 more pit stop, and that was a really good strategy call, you know. It looks like the soft compound tyres for the top 8 is yet to be used. In fact, the top 10 are still yet to the soft compound tyres. That was a really good strategy call for people to do extended to a few more laps on their set of dry tyres. Because me having a small brain, I wouldn't have thought about it. I would have thought doing 2 laps on each tyre, that was it. But these guys are really clever, of course, creating their own ways to try and come up with different strategies. Jay Hartnell's going to catch up to the back of his battle on fresher tyres. Punishment looks like we're going to hit the back of Panda with the amount of speed he was carrying in the corners. But so far, MKP has the advantage. And what a great drive from the Scotsman indeed. What was the best strategy go on? Look at that, he did hard, wet, inter in the 2 double stints. Then in the pit lane goes Basil Fox then to get rid of his medium compound tyres on the softs. Punishment and Panda are left out there to scrap it out for P2. Punishment goes around the outside and pulls off another sensational move, it must be said. Pulls off some great moves into 1, especially the start of the race. And he's up into P2 he goes. So Basil Fox is on the soft compound tyres. There's 6 left to go. You're going to try to do the undercut on these 2 guys, because these 2 guys are still yet to go on the soft compound tyres. So here we are then, King Panda looking for a move on Punishment. Will these 2 respond at the end of this lap? The undercut can be quite powerful around here, but those tyres are not quite old. But you can see there, Cavalis and Jenkins are scrapping away for P5 and P6 there. Jenkins looking all over the back of Eisen, who is derating on this straight here. And Mighty Atom is in the pit lane then. Is he on those wets still, or is he about to change them? He's going to change the wet tyres, so luckily he's not on the wets there. So nobody started on the wet compound tyres, as MKP, our race leader, is in the pit lane as we watch Jenkins scrapping away with Eisen there. And Freefall, who would not enjoy the stint, he's the only one on the wet tyres, so he's not going to enjoy the stint at all. But he would dearly love to get off these tyres and put on a brand new set of the soft or medium, or depending what he's got left to choose. So MKP rejoins in P4, the net race leader this race. The top 3 yet to pit to go on that soft compound tyres. Looks like these guys are saving the softs towards the end of the Grand Prix, or some of them have. Craig on the soft compound tyres right now. Hopefully it's a bit of a gap in the field to see if drivers have done their 5 stops. We know, in fact, why am I saying that for? We can go on this. There we go, much easier instead of checking the race director. So, Rabbi and Freefall done 3 stops, it says. Oh yeah, you do 4 stops because you've got 5 tyres, because you obviously start on the tyre, so yeah, it makes sense. So, 4 stops. There, makes a lot of sense right now. Otherwise I made a fool of myself trying to explain that. Because you already started a set of tyres, obviously you don't make it, you don't have a pit stop. But yeah, 4 stops these guys have got to make. So the top 3, Eisen in P6, Cavalis in P7, are yet to stop for the 4th time. So it looks like MKP is in a great position, but can Jenkins strike on MKP? No, he can't because he's still got yet to pit. Has Jenkins, so expect to see him in the pit lane. There he is in the pit lane right now as all these drivers make their last stops as King Panda has stayed out there. But the longer he stays out, the more chance these guys will have a big undercut on him, and he won't be able to make up the deficit towards the end of the Grand Prix because he's run out of laps to do so. So Polishman is out there in the pit lane. Will he get ahead of Basil Fox? These two were scrapping away before the pit stops. Oh, they came close together on track once again, and around the outside goes Basil Fox on the Pink Panther of Polishman. Great stuff indeed then. So I think the only driver left the pit is King Panda in first place to do his 4th stop. Curly also in P8 hasn't done his 4th stop. Crago and Spider exchange positions then as we go on to this graphic right here. I think it's quite easy to tell who hasn't pitted for their 4th stop now, as majority of drivers then are on the soft compound tyres. MKP is going to win this Grand Prix, and he's going to make Nathan's team very happy. The team obviously called Chevrolet, sorry. And Polishman then puts in pressure on Basil Fox as King Panda has finally made his pit stop with 3 laps left to go. MKP sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, and Basil Fox then will be shaping up. Polishman will shape up Basil Fox. Look at that, he's getting so close even before we make it onto the straight there as he pulls the right hand side, and that's no competition. Taking candy from a baby, as Martin Brundle would say. And Polishman goes up into 2nd place for Pink Panthers. It's been a great drive so far. Out of the pit lane comes Cavalis, then I think it was, no it wasn't, it was somebody else. I think it was, who was out of the pit lane exit? It was Jay Hartnell who came out of the pit lane exit right there. This race has been actually quite decent, you know, with all these drivers choosing their different strategies. KXI looked like he was the man to win this Grand Prix, but he crashed with his own mistake, pushing way too hard out of turn 7 and paid the consequences for that. Polishman had a mistake himself in the same place but a few corners before, but he escaped from that and is currently in P2, and he's got a tyre advantage of 2 laps as well. 2 laps do make a big tyre difference as well in this game module, so he should have the security of P2 cemented to him. And Basil Fox might have to watch out for King Panda because he's 2.5 seconds behind and on a brand new set of the soft compound tyres. So the battle for P3 is on. Basil Fox is out of DRS range and out of ERS. So all he can hope for is that Panda does not close in with about 3 laps to go in this Grand Prix. Polishman sets the fast lap of the race. But it's MKP's race to lose in P1. Nothing should go wrong for MKP, unless of course he picks up penalties or spins or crashes, but he's on the dry compound tyres anyway, and the grip will be there for him for his team of Chevrolet. Basil Fox 1.4 behind. King Panda's getting about 4:10 since we've seen it. Can he catch Basil Fox? He's got a little bit of battery left in his disposal to use. He also goes 3/10 quicker in the first sector there. But it's very hard to regenerate the battery around this circuit, as you're mostly on the throttle as well, so we won't be able to save the battery either driver. But this will be the closest battle, but Zombie Don is right on the back of Spider. They're both on the soft and medium compound tyres. There they are then, as we make our way down the main straight for these two. As will Zombie Don get past Spider going down into turn 1, he's too far back to do so, and he stays in 13th place. He does have the benefit of the soft compound tyres, so he'll be reaping them to his perfection. And we'll see Panda closing in on Basil Fox with 2 laps left to go in this race. He's going to come down to the wire between those two as Panda teleports away. As you can see there, the lagging King Panda there for Chevrolet. Not a bad day for those teams there. The Pink Panthers in P2. The How Do We Get Here in 3rd place. And MKP's team, I think he's not teammates with King Panda, is he? You know what? I confused myself with Pink Pandas and King Panda. They are called Pink Panthers and not Pink Pandas. Makes sense. Obviously, Panda has yeah. It was a bit confusing for the time being, but King Panda is 6/10 away from Basil Fox. He's gaining a rate of knots, but on the last lap, can Basil Fox defend? It's going to be so close going down into turn number 1 we go. So it looks like King Panda will pick up a podium after this race, but can Basil Fox defend? You can see the back of the light flashing, so Panda knows he's derating and will be vulnerable down the main straight. As Panda's only got a bit of ERS to himself there as well, so not really a big advantage for him. But the soft compound tyres should outclass the other driver of P3. Here we are then with the DRS zone. Panda will pick up the DRS right here, as the DRS is quite early, isn't it, on that bank corner. It used to be here where the DRS was activated, but here we are, Panda with his DRS, fresher tyres, and looks like Basil Fox wasn't willing to defend there, and King Panda goes up into P3. I thought Basil Fox would try to defend that with the last lap and also on the podium. But it looks like Panda there had it easy and he's up into 3rd place, and that will be that. Then I don't think any more battles will be going on track then. But funny enough, first to second, oh, somebody's made a mistake there. Who was it? It was Craigo. Or was it MKP? Oh, MKP! He's run out of fuel! MKP will not win this Grand Prix, and unfortunately he has run out of fuel. I thought that was Polishman, but there is Polishman. Look at that, they're low on fuel as well, so these guys haven't fueled the car up for the race distance, and MKP then unfortunately has lost the lead on the last lap with no fuel, and Basil Fox and Panda on the podium then. Oh, I didn't realise fuel was a concern around here, but as you can see, there's a lot of flashing lights going around here. Who is going to run out of fuel before the line? Here we are then coming towards the final corner. MKP unfortunately has run out of fuel. He's down into P5. Here comes Polishman then, who is going to win the Dutch Grand Prix. Fantastic race ahead of Panda. Here comes Basil Fox in P3 with Jay Hartnell. He was close on Basil Fox, but unfortunately not enough time left. And consolation there for MKP, who was going to win this race, but hasn't looked at his fuel. And there's Cavalos, another driver who ran out of fuel as well. That's big points for this race. Lost for MKP. Here comes Eyes. Is he going to get him? No, he can't. That was 2/10 away. Was Eyes in there. Here comes Wee Rabbi. Look at this. Real free fall. Out drag. Wee Rabbi. Here we go side by side. Photo finish. Looks like free fall got ahead, which he did. And Curly will finish in 11th place. But look at this. Spider is battling away with Zombidon. In fact, Spider's run out of fuel too. And Zombidon takes away P12 for Pink Panthers. His teammate in P1, and the Pink Panthers will be absolutely thrilled with that. Here is Spider crawling his way towards the line, literally crawling as well as the Spider would do, as he makes his way now towards P13. Here comes the Mighty Atom in 14th, Craigo in 15th place, and everybody has done 4 stops. So everybody, majority of them starts on the hard compound tyres. Then some of them went on the inters, wets and mediums as well in that middle stint. Some of them actually stayed out at 2 laps extra on those dry compound tyres, which is very tactical indeed, as the others will be scrubbing around on those inters and wets, not getting the full speed. KXI strategy was going to work, but unfortunately out of the race. So I think this is good information for those who are watching right now and take it in for Thursday, who are going to participate in the Grand Prix on Thursday. So there it is then. Nobody started on the wet tyres. KXI only doing 2 stops there. He crashed out the inters, didn't he? He went from mediums to hards to inters. Then he crashed out, couldn't survive on those inters. Probably pushing too hard, as he had the confidence from the mediums and hards to go flat out. But yes, majority of drivers at the end of the Grand Prix finishing on the soft compound tyres, using them towards the end of the Grand Prix. It was a very interesting strategy call indeed. So it looks like the wet tyres were introduced in the middle stints, the 2nd and 3rd stint. Nobody finished on the wet tyres towards the end of the Grand Prix. Good stuff indeed then. So that was a very interesting race there with a lot of things spicing up, and also fuel was a factor too, which I never thought that MKP will run out of. But anyways, this race is done and dusted then, so hopefully you all enjoyed the 3 races we had. I think some people were confused about the rules because they said 2 full laps or something like that. Two laps of racing plus. Want to make sure he got it in case wrong, says Jay Hart now. I got a bit confused with the rules too because I thought, yeah, it does make sense now because obviously when you go out the pitch you complete a full lap, then you go for a second lap, then you pit. Punishment says he did 3 laps on each tyre minimum just in case, and it nearly cost him the race. I myself was a bit confused with the rules there, but it all makes sense once we get the stewards involved in this race. I think there's supposed to be more explanation. Can't even speak now. Explanation. What is the word? Explanation? Is that a word? How do you say it? Explain something. You explain something. Explanation. Yeah, explanation is a word. Yeah, I don't think there was enough explanation. It sounds weird when you say it though. It's like I've never said it before. There wasn't enough explanation for these guys not knowing what to do properly. I don't even know if that's a word, you know, explanation. I've not really said it before. Could be going crazy, but anyways, the race is done and dusted then. Hopefully you all enjoyed here in Code Cup. We've got round 2 coming up in Lobby 2 for the Thursday race with the big boys, and hopefully we'll have a good race there too, as I will be on the comments section. And hopefully you all enjoyed the Miami Grand Prix too. I know 95% of you enjoyed the Miami Grand Prix, as it was a fantastic race indeed, action packed, and Norris actually beat Verstappen on pace. Yes, a bit of luck was involved, but sometimes you need that luck too to go with it. But even when Verstappen pitted, Norris was still quicker on those old medium compound tyres, able to try and get Verstappen too. So yeah, we'll see what happens in Imola, whether he can keep it up or not. But don't discount McLaren, they will be up there for sure. But expect the Red Bull to continue dominating it as it always has been since 2023 and midway 2022. But anyways, I enjoyed it, hopefully you all did too, and we'll see you all for Thursday for Lobby 2, Round 2, here at the Cone Cup.